Jeri Ryan was right to turn down a Captain 7 of 9 show that isn't Star Trek Legacy. A show led by Jeri Ryan's Captain 7 is still what much of the Star Trek fanbase is waiting for in the wake of Star Trek Picard Season 3's ending, and even the actress herself has confirmed with her actions and her words that she wouldn't be interested in returning in a show that didn't align with Terry Matalla's post-Star Trek Picard vision. Ryan reprised her role from the Star Trek Voyager cast and played the former Borg 7 of 9 as part of the cast of all 3 seasons of Star Trek Picard. Although there was a sizable gap between Star Trek Voyager's ending and when Star Trek Picard began, seeing Seven's arc continue was rewarding. Seven ended the Patrick Stewart-led sequel to Star Trek The Next Generation as the captain of the USS Enterprise G, and with Admiral Picard's son on board, it seemed as though the latest version of the iconic Sky-Fi vessel would return in another spin-off show. Unfortunately, it still hasn't happened yet, but Jeri Ryan seems committed to the idea of continuing where Star Trek Picard ended. Speaking at SpaceCon 2024 via Trek Movie, Ryan was questioned in her capacity as a member of the Star Trek Voyager panel, but not all queries related to the show in which she first played 7 of 9. A fan also pushed her on whether she would eventually return as Captain 7 in the still only conceptual Star Trek Legacy. Although her reply didn't confirm or deny if the show would happen, Ryan did announce that an alternative project had been pitched to her that would also allow for Seven's comeback. Star Trek Picard's Season 3 finale set up a project like Star Trek Legacy perfectly. Everything was in place to continue the story of an established character like 7 of 9, but also to flesh out newer and original characters like Ed Speleer's Jack Crusher. With John DeLancey also back as Q, Terry Matalla's Star Trek Legacy idea looked to really commit to being another spiritual successor to Star Trek's golden era. If Ryan had accepted the alternate pitch, much of this groundwork would presumably have gone to waste. If Star Trek Legacy happens, it will be worth the wait, as Ryan implied. There have only been whispers of something like Star Trek Legacy actually happening, although Paramount seems to be worryingly open to other ways to bring back 7 of 9. Thankfully, her reluctance to jump the gun and agree to play Captain 7 in a different kind of spin-off increases the chances of the studio aligning itself with Matalla's vision, and Ryan also appears to be very respectful and aware of how the fans want 7 to resurface, even if it means waiting a little longer. Hopefully, Ryan's patience holds, and Star Trek Legacy, or something very similar, does actually enter production. Although Star Trek Picard only ended in 2023, such an exciting spin-off idea has inevitably made the wait to find out what happens next seem much longer. Live-action Star Trek shows are at a premium right now, but Legacy would be an excellent addition to the TV arm of the iconic Sky-Fi franchise, especially if it also allowed Jeri Ryan to come back as 7 of 9 again. Jeri Ryan was right to turn down a Captain 7 of 9 show that isn't Star Trek Legacy. Jeri Ryan's portrayal of 7 of 9 has become one of the most iconic characters in the Star Trek universe. Introduced in Star Trek Voyager as a former Borg drone struggling to regain her humanity, Seven's journey became a highlight of the show. Her complexity, intelligence, and emotional vulnerability made her a character that fans connected with deeply. So when discussions of a Captain 7 of 9 spin-off arose after Star Trek Picard's conclusion, many fans were intrigued by the possibility. However, Ryan's reluctance to lead a Captain 7 show outside of the context of Star Trek Legacy is not only understandable, but also the right decision for both her and the franchise. The importance of Star Trek Legacy. The concept of Star Trek Legacy has become a popular talking point among fans since Star Trek Picard Season 3. The idea of continuing the narrative threads established in Picard, with characters like 7 of 9, Raffi Musiker, and Jack Crusher, under the banner of Legacy would honor the series' history, while also pushing the Star Trek universe into a new, exciting direction. In Picard, we saw 7 embrace leadership roles that eventually led her to take command of the USS Titan A, a starship vital to the events of Season 3. For many fans, it was a natural progression for the character. Legacy offers a well-rounded continuation of stories, one that places 7 of 9 in a more organic environment alongside the Next Generation crew's descendants and a rich legacy of Star Trek history. It creates an emotional and narrative context for Seven that simply wouldn't be replicated in a standalone series. Ryan's Seven isn't just a starship captain, she's part of a complex tapestry of interwoven relationships and legacy characters. Removing her from that environment for a solo venture risks stripping away much of the emotional depth and nuance that has made the character so beloved. Seven's character arc is inherently tied to Star Trek's legacy. From the moment Seven was introduced in Voyager, her character arc has been about belonging and identity. She's never been a lone wolf character by nature, despite her initial Borg detachment from human emotions and connection. Her story has always been about reconnecting with others, rebuilding trust, and navigating her identity within larger groups, first on Voyager and later in Picard. Her relationship with figures like Captain Janeway, the Doctor, Raffi, and Jean-Luc Picard has shaped her evolution. In Picard, we witness her growth as a leader, but it is in the context of others around her that her leadership shines. Seven is not simply a heroic captain in the mold of James T. Kirk or Jean-Luc Picard. She is someone who is still healing, still discovering what it means to be fully human. A series that isolates her from the broader Star Trek universe risks undermining the complexity of that journey. In Legacy, Seven would be able to interact with characters who mirror her own struggles or complement her evolution, giving her character richer ground to explore. A Captain 7 of 9 show could risk dilution. One of the risks of spinning off a popular character like 7 of 9 into a standalone series is the potential dilution of her character. Star Trek has a long tradition of ensemble storytelling. Shows like The Next Generation, Voyager, and Deep Space Nine worked because they allowed multiple characters to share the narrative load, giving different perspectives and stories room to breathe. While characters like Kirk and Picard were central to their respective series, they always had strong supporting casts that helped them shine. A Captain 7 of 9 show that focuses solely on her command could risk putting too much weight on a single character, flattening her in the process. Seven works so well as a character because she thrives in the complexity of interactions with others. In a more ensemble-driven Legacy series, we would get to see her in a variety of contexts, allowing for a more dynamic exploration of her character. Moreover, Star Trek is fundamentally about the exploration of new worlds, new species, and new ideas, and the moral and ethical questions that arise from those explorations. A Captain 7 of 9 series, if focused too heavily on her personal struggles or development, might lose sight of that broader Star Trek ethos. The potential to see Seven exploring these grand ideas with a strong supporting cast in Legacy seems like a far more compelling opportunity. The power of continuing Star Trek's legacy, a key component of Star Trek's long-lasting success, is its ability to reinvent itself while maintaining a connection to its past. The latest generation of Star Trek fans has already seen how shows like Picard have artfully woven the past and future together, allowing for new characters like Seven to grow while still paying homage to the franchise's long-standing traditions. Star Trek Legacy represents a way to move forward in the Trek universe without sacrificing its roots. By keeping Seven in the fold of Legacy, Ryan would be able to continue exploring her character's evolution in a way that honors the interconnected nature of the Star Trek universe. This would not only be a service to the character of Seven, but also to the broader franchise. It would allow Seven to exist as part of a larger, evolving story, one that respects both the past and the future of Star Trek. Conclusion: